Just before that, we can have a short presentation about the MMRV vaccine, the measles, mumps, rubella, varicella vaccine. And I will be giving that presentation. So next slide, please. So the MMRV vaccine is one combined shot with one needle for measles, mumps, rubella, and varicella. It was developed as an alternative to the MMR plus V, where you have two shots. One needle for measles, mumps, and rubella, and another from varicella.
According to my mother,
between these two vaccines, there are no known differences in efficacy
when I was
against either of these four diseases. Next slide, please. The timeline is that in 2005, the MMRV vaccine was licensed by FDA for children ages 12 months to 12 years of age. In 2006, this committee recommended the use of the MMRV with a preference over doing separate MMR and varicella vaccines. Next slide, please. The CDC's vaccine safety data link rapid cycle analysis, so this shows the importance of the vaccine safety data link that CDC has. We're monitoring this new vaccine with weekly data as it was rolled out. And for the first dose at age 12 to 13 months, there was a signal for an excess number of febrile seizures. That signal appeared after about 26,000 doses in the system. Next slide, please. So at that time, there were 59 observed, 38 expected. And that was statistically significant to trigger a signal from these surveillance systems. Now, when you have a signal from a surveillance system, you then have to go to evaluate it. This could be because of data errors or a number of things. So subsequently, there was a more thorough investigation about febrile seizures after this vaccine. Next slide, please. And you can see here that at the very bottom, there's sort of a random or fluctuation of febrile seizures occurring a different number of days after the vaccination. So there's sort of a background random noise here, but 7 to 10 days after vaccination, there's a big peak of MMRV. There's also smaller peaks for the MMR vaccine, but there's a huge peak of excess febrile seizures 7 to 10 days after receiving the MMRV vaccine. Next slide, please. So a formal study looking at this found a relative risk of around 2, which is about 4 to 5 excess febrile seizures per 10,000 children vaccinated. So it's not huge, but it's not super rare either. And this was highly statistically significant, so we know it's not a chance occurrence. MMR has an increased risk of febrile seizure compared to separate administration of the MMR and the varicella vaccines. And next slide, please. This is consistent with this also an excess risk of post-vaccination fever after the MMRV vaccine compared to the MMR and varicella. And this is all for children in the first dose, which is typically given at age 12 to 15 months. Next slide, please. There was a MMRV working group to look into this, and they made a vote out of 4 options. The old recommendation was both are recommended, but the preference for the MMRV. In the working group, there was a vote that the majority thought it should be changed to both recommended with a preference for MMR plus V. There was a minority vote, both recommended with equal preference, and 1 vote to only recommend the MMR plus V. Next slide, please. When the ACIP met in June of 2009, there was a vote for the same issues, and then the majority was to have both recommended with equal preference. The minority thought it should be a preference for MMR plus V. Next slide, please. So ACIP, our committee is only advisory. It is the CDC who actually decides the recommendations, and in a very unusual situation, because usually CDC do follow the ACIP recommendation, but in this case, they did a sort of an adjustment. So they say, the CDC said that either MMRV or MMR plus V may be administered at this age, but for the first dose in children aged 12 to 47, there's a preference for MMR plus V. Next slide, please. So in summary, there's no known difference in the efficacy between these two options. After the first dose for children ages 12 to 23, there's very solid evidence-based evidence that there are more febrile seizures after MMRV than after MMR plus B, about 1 per 2,300 doses. After the second dose of these vaccines at age 4 to 6 years, there's no excess risk for febrile seizure. Next slide, please. So a proposed recommendation, we're not going to vote on that this time, but possibly at the next meeting, could be that as there exists a safer, equally effective alternative, the MMRV vaccine should not be administered to children under the age of 47 months. So because of time constraint, I don't think we have time to have discussions of this. Neither we didn't have that for anthrax or chikungunya either. So we will leave this for a later meeting, and we will now proceed to the voting on the influenza vaccine. I will first read the first draft vote. Recommendations for influenza vaccination for the 2025 to 2026 season. ACIP reaffirms the recommendation for routine annual influenza vaccination for all persons ages greater or equal to 6 months who do not have contraindications.
Malone, no conflict of interest, make a motion to approve.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Pagano, second.
Yes.
Thank you so much. So we will then have a vote. So please state your name, affiliation, and voting yes or no. And we'll start with the remote one this time. So Dr. Meissner, please.
Cody Meissner, no conflicts. I vote yes, and I note there are very few contraindications to receiving the influenza vaccine. Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Petworth?
Yes. Is it possible to abstain because we didn't discuss any of this during the meeting?
You may abstain. You can say name and conflict of interest and abstain. That is a possibility, yes.
Okay. My name is Vicki Petworth, and I'm required to read the statement as it relates to conflict of interest as required in the
You don't need to read the statement. You don't need to read the statement. You have, that's okay. So.
Very good. Okay.
But thank you so much. Dr. Malone?
Malone, no conflict of interest, yes.
Dr. Hibble?
Joseph Hibbelin, no conflicts of interest, yes.
Dr. Levi?
Recep Levy, no conflict of interest, yes.
Dr. Pagano?
James Pagano, no conflicts of interest, yes.
And I am Martin Kuldorf, no conflict of interest. I also vote yes. So we have a vote for 6 yes and 1 abstain. We will now go on to the vote concerning the thimerosal, and the first vote is for children, and I will read the statement first. ACIP recommends children 18 years and younger receive seasonal influenza vaccine only in single-dose formulations that are free of thimerosal as a preservative. So again, please state your name, conflict of interest, and your vote. We can start with Dr. Levi this time.
Recep Levy, no conflict of interest, yes.
Dr. Pagano?
James Pagano, no conflicts of interest, yes.
Dr. Hibble?
Dr. Hibbelin, point of order, do we need a motion and a second?
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
Wow.
Do we have a motion?
So moved by Malone.
Do we have a second?
Second from Meissner.
So we start over, I'm sorry.
Recep
Dr.
Levi,
Levi,
no conflict of interest, yes.
Dr. Pagano,
Pagano, no conflicts of interest, yes.
Dr. Hibbel,
Joseph Evelyn, no conflicts of interest, yes.
Dr. Malone,
Malone, no conflict of interest, yes.
Dr. Petsworth, Vicky, we'll go to Dr. Meister.
Can I ask, will we have an opportunity to explain our vote?
Yeah, if you vote first, you can explain afterwards.
Thank you. I vote no. Meissner, no conflict.
Dr. Petsworth, we have no response there. My name is Martin Kuldorf, no conflict of interest. I vote yes. So we have a vote of 5 yes, 1 no, and 1 person not able to, we lost contact with 1 person. We'll go to the next motion. Dr.
It
Pressworth?
is now working. I'm sorry, it wasn't working. I would like to abstain from that vote, please.
Okay, so we have, and can you state your name and conflict of interest, that you don't have conflict of interest?
I'm Vicky Petsworth, and I have the statement that.
You don't have to read the statement, you just have to say that you have no conflict.
She has a conflict of interest,
Yeah,
because
okay,
she has
that's good.
investments in that company that makes that, with Thimerosal in it.
So we go to the next vote, so I'll read it first. ACIP recommends pregnant women receive seasonal influenza vaccines only in single-dose formulations that are free of thimerosal as a preservative. Do we have a motion?
So moved, Malone.
Do we have a second?
Second, Meissner.
Thank you. And we'll start with the vote. Dr. Malone?
Malone, no COI, no conflict of interest, I apologize, yes.
Dr. Hibbel?
Joseph Evelyn, no conflicts of interest, yes.
Dr. Pagano?
Pagano, no conflicts of interest, yes.
Dr. Levi?
Joseph Levi, no conflict of interest, yes.
Dr. Petsworth?
Vicky Petsworth, no conflicts in this case, and abstain.
Dr. Meissner?
Cody Meissner, no conflicts, and I vote no.
And I'm Martin Kuldorf, no conflict of interest. I vote yes. So we have 5 votes yes, 1 no, and 1 abstain. The last vote for today is, I'll read it first. ACIP recommends all adults receive seasonal influenza vaccine only in a single-dose formulation that are free of thimerosal as a preservative. Do we have a motion?
Malone, so moved.
Do we have a second?
Meissner, second.
Thank you. And we can start voting. Dr. Levi?
Joseph Levi, no conflict of interest, yes.
Dr. Pagano?
Pagano, no conflicts of interest, yes.
Dr. Hibbel?
Dr. Hibbelin, no conflicts of interest, yes.
Dr. Malone?
Malone, no conflict of interest, yes.
Dr. Petsworth?
Vicky Petsworth, no conflicts, abstain.
Dr. Meissner?
Cody Meissner, no conflicts, no.
And I'm Martin Kuldorf, no conflict of interest, yes. So we have 5 yes votes, 1 no vote, and 1 abstain. And does anybody want to explain the vote? Dr. Levi?
Yeah, I just want to share my hope that we can work with our colleagues at the CDC to develop better ways to, and more reliable ways to evaluate the efficacy of flu vaccines, broadly speaking, and the comparative, the relative efficacy of the different vaccines. I think we can, and hopefully can do a better, a more precise job. I know it's a non-trivial task, but I think we need to work hard to bring to the public the most accurate scientific assessments of the efficacy of these vaccines.
Dr. Hibbel?
I wish to note that there is a significant benefit to the use of multi-dose vaccines instead of single-dose vaccines. And apparently there is good data that other preservatives can be used. So I hope that the committee will put on the agenda the consideration of multi-use vials rather than single-use vials that have other better preservatives. Thank you.
Dr. Malone?
I wish to note regarding the recommendations for influenza vaccine for the season and the recommendation for routine annual influenza vaccination for all persons greater than or equal to 6 months, lacking contraindications. I look forward to a robust evaluation in the subcommittee of the potential risks and benefits, relatively speaking, of the alternative products that are currently available on the market. And I anticipate there will be active consideration of the long-standing issue of immune imprinting and original antigenic sin, which may or may not be a concern in the case of routine annual influenza vaccination. Over.
Yep, you gotta eliminate the competition, the big
Any other
pharma.
comments from the members of the committee?
Yes. Yes.
Dr. Meissner?
Yeah, thanks. I would like to make the point that my concern is that by insisting the multi-dose vials contain thimerosal, that might limit the availability of the influenza vaccine for some people. I would like to have that question answered, but it's probably a difficult one to answer. My point is the risk from influenza is so much greater than the non-existent, as far as we know, risk from thimerosal. So I would hate for a person not to receive the influenza vaccine because the only available preparation contains thimerosal. I find that very hard to justify. Over.
Thank you. Dr. Pettsworth?
Yes. I wanted to say that I on my personal views on this is that we should not be doing anything that restricts access to vaccines of any sort, especially
Or
those that
threatens
are
my,
already approved by the FDA and
my
that are
bank account,
already
my
in the
investments.
schedule. My problem and the reason I abstained for all of these votes is because of the way the voting question was written. In the world of survey research, you don't ask two things in the same question. So there's buried in this is a recommendation that all adults receive seasonal influenza. And then the second part of it, in formulations that are free of thimerosal as a preservative. Yes, I think we should not be using thimerosal as a preservative, but we didn't get into any sort of a discussion about the first part of the question. So I just, in the future, when we're asked to vote on something, if we could just vote on one thing at a time, that would be helpful. Thank you.
Thank you for that comment. I think that we are almost done with this meeting. Before we conclude, I would like to thank, first of all, the public who has been listening into these interesting discussions about science, about medicine, about vaccines, and monoclonal antibodies. We really appreciate that, and that includes the public speakers, but I know there were many other people, members from the public, who were listening in, and I thank you very much. I would also like to thank the CDC staff for very informative presentations. There was a lot of work behind those, not only those people presenting, but other members of the CDC staff, and we're looking very much forward to continue to working with you as members of this committee. I also would like to thank the 7 members of the committee who at very short notice have indulged in these issues. spending a lot of time and very thoughtfully thinking about it. And we are all on the same page here that what is important is using evidence-based medicine to promote public health, and that we do that in an unbiased, open, transparent way where we will listen to various views and opinions, both from scientists but also from the public. So again, to everybody, I really appreciate your spending this 1.5 days with us. So thank you very, very much.
Order, Mr. Chair. Point of order. Martin, can I make a comment?
Yes, please.
I would like to comment on the decision by the American Academy of Pediatrics to boycott this meeting. In the past, the AP has been very helpful in generating recommendations, and I think it's somewhat childish for them not to appear. It's dialogue that leads to the best recommendations for the use of vaccines. I mean, I'm led to think that they didn't want to come because they didn't want to have to support some of their decisions that are difficult to do. But in the future,
Maybe
I
because they were
strongly
seeing
recommend
some sort
the
of
American
trend
Academy of Pediatrics
in their
to
pediatric
participate in
patients.
these meetings as they always have. Thank you.
They didn't want to lose their practice.
Thank you very much. And I will hereby conclude this meeting.
I'm
And I
sorry,
hope you all
but
have a wonderful
I can't help
afternoon.
but comment.
Pardon? Thank you so
Handful of
much,
people,
everybody.
7
Thank you.
people making these
I'm
recommendations
sorry, Mr. Chair.
that too many doctors and medical professionals take as mandates. That's an issue. These are recommendations and recommendations only, not mandates. Remember that, folks. Stay safe and mindful. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it.